In Japan, something remarkable happens when people turn 60. They don't start doing more exercises, they start doing fewer. Specifically, they stop doing 6 types of exercises that American seniors are told will keep them young and strong. The result? Japan has the lowest rate of exercise-related injuries among seniors in the developed world, while in America, the average senior suffers their first serious exercise-related injury at 62, leading to a cascade of medical interventions, loss of independence, and accelerated decline. Walk into any American gym, and you'll see seniors grinding through sit-ups, pounding treadmills, and pushing heavy weights. Walk into a Japanese community center, and you'll see something completely different. The exercise equipment that dominates Western senior fitness programs sits empty. Instead, you'll find older adults moving in ways that seem almost too gentle to be effective. But here's what's fascinating. Japanese seniors aren't just avoiding injury. They're staying stronger, more flexible, and more independent than their Western counterparts, well into their 80s and 90s. The average Japanese person maintains functional independence until age 78, compared to 66 in America. That's 12 extra years of living life on your own terms. Japan has 59,000 people over 90 who are still physically active and mentally sharp. America has 12,000. The difference isn't genetics, healthcare, or luck. It's a fundamental philosophy about what exercise should accomplish as we age. While Western fitness culture preaches fight aging, Japanese wisdom teaches age intelligently. The Japanese have a concept called kiken na undao, which translates to dangerous exercise. These aren't extreme sports or obviously risky activities. They're common movements you see in every American gym, recommended by well-meaning trainers, prescribed by physical therapists, and practiced by millions of seniors who believe they're investing in their health. But Japanese exercise physiologists have identified these movements as the primary cause of what they call kasoku rukatsu, accelerated aging through exercise. Before you say, "But I've been doing these exercises for years," hear me out. Your body at 60 is not your body at 30, and what built strength in your younger years can destroy mobility in your later ones. The Japanese understand that the aging process fundamentally changes how your joints, connective tissues, and nervous system respond to different types of stress. What once made you stronger now makes you more fragile. Here's what's fascinating. Every single exercise Japanese elders avoid has a specific scientific reason rooted in how tissues change with age. We're not talking about being cautious or playing it safe. We're talking about understanding the biomechanics of an aging body and working with those changes instead of fighting against them. Think about the seniors in your life. How many of them have had to stop exercising because of back injuries, joint problems, or balance issues that developed during their fitness routines? How many have been told by their doctors to take it easy after decades of following conventional exercise advice? The Japanese approach suggests these injuries weren't inevitable consequences of aging. They were preventable results of exercising in ways that conflict with natural aging processes. Today, I'm going to walk you through each of these 6 exercise categories that Japanese elders systematically avoid, explain why Western fitness culture got them wrong, and show you what they do instead. Because the goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better, with strength and independence that lasts decades longer than what most people think is possible. Let's start with the most surprising one. The first exercise that Japanese seniors learn to abandon, one that millions of Americans still do every day believing it's strengthening their core. Walk into any American gym, and you'll see them. Seniors lying on mats, hands behind their heads, cranking out sit-ups with determined grimaces. Their trainers encourage them, their doctors recommend them, and fitness magazines praise them as the foundation of core strength. But visit a Japanese senior fitness center, and you'll notice something remarkable. The ab exercise section is completely empty. Japanese elders have a term for traditional sit-ups, fukin no wana, the abdominal trap. Here's what your trainer probably never told you. Every single sit-up you perform after 60 creates approximately 3,300 pounds of compression force on your lower spine. To put that in perspective, that's like placing a small car on your back every time you crunch forward. Your 20-year-old spine could handle this stress. Your 65-year-old spine cannot. Japanese spinal researchers discovered something fascinating when they studied the vertebrae of seniors who practiced traditional sit-ups versus those who avoided them. The sit-up group showed accelerated disc degeneration, increased vertebral compression, and a 40% higher rate of chronic lower back pain. The non-sit-up group maintained healthier spinal curves and reported significantly less back discomfort as they aged. But here's where it gets really interesting. Traditional Japanese martial arts, practiced for over 800 years, never included repetitive spinal flexion exercises. Samurai warriors, who needed incredible core strength for battle, developed their abdominal power through static holds and controlled breathing exercises. They understood something we've forgotten. True core strength comes from stability, not movement. Think about how your core actually functions in daily life. When do you ever need to repeatedly crunch your spine forward? Getting out of bed, climbing stairs, lifting groceries, these activities require your core to stabilize and support, not to flex and compress. Japanese exercise philosophy focuses on training movements that translate directly to daily function, and repetitive spinal flexion simply isn't part of natural human movement patterns. The problem with traditional sit-ups goes deeper than just spinal compression. As we age, the discs between our vertebrae naturally lose water content, becoming thinner and less elastic. When you add the repetitive forward crushing motion of sit-ups, you're essentially squeezing water out of an already dehydrated sponge. Once that disc material is compressed out, it doesn't come back. Japanese seniors instead practice what they call haramaki training, named after the traditional abdominal wrapping worn by samurai. This involves static core engagement exercises that strengthen the deep stabilizing muscles without ever moving the spine. Imagine trying to resist someone pushing you over while maintaining perfect posture. That's the kind of core strength that actually protects your back and improves your daily function. Recent studies from Tokyo University's Exercise Physiology Department compared two groups of seniors over 6 months. One group performing traditional sit-ups, the other practicing static core holds. The sit-up group showed decreased spinal flexibility and increased reports of back stiffness. The static hold group improved their balance, reduced lower back pain, and maintained better posture throughout daily activities. What makes this even more significant is understanding how Japanese culture views the abdominal region. In traditional Japanese medicine, the area below your navel, called the hara, is considered the body's center of power and balance. Protecting this region through gentle strengthening, rather than aggressive flexing, is seen as fundamental to maintaining vitality as you age. The Japanese approach to core training after 60 focuses on endurance and stability rather than repetitive movement and maximum effort. By eliminating the spinal compression inherent in traditional sit-ups, Japanese elders maintain healthier backs and stronger functional cores well into their 70s and 80s. But spinal health is just the beginning of what Japanese seniors protect by avoiding conventional Western exercises. Picture this. It's 6 in the morning in any American city, and you'll see them pounding the pavement. Seniors with determined faces, earbuds in, running on concrete sidewalks and asphalt roads. Now picture 6 in the morning in Kyoto. Elderly Japanese, moving gracefully through parks, practicing Tai Chi on soft grass, walking meditation paths, or gliding through heated pools. The contrast isn't coincidental. Japanese elders have a term for high-impact exercise, shogeki, literally meaning destructive impact. Here's what happens inside your joints every time your foot strikes concrete during a run. The impact force travels up through your ankle, knee, and hip at approximately 2.5 times your body weight. For a 150-pound person, that's 375 pounds of force hammering through your joints with every single step. Your cartilage, which acts like a cushion between your bones, absorbs this punishment step after step, mile after mile. But here's the problem. Cartilage doesn't heal like other tissues. It has no direct blood supply, which means once it's damaged, it's essentially permanent. Japanese orthopedic researchers followed 2,000 seniors for 10 years and discovered something startling. Those who engaged in regular high-impact cardio showed 60% more cartilage deterioration than those who practiced low-impact alternatives. Think about traditional Japanese movement arts: Aikido, Tai Chi, Qigong. Notice something? None of them involve repetitive pounding or jarring motions. These practices, developed over centuries, emphasize flowing, controlled movements that build cardiovascular endurance without destroying joint surfaces. It's not that Japanese culture avoided vigorous exercise. They simply understood that sustainability matters more than intensity. The most common mistake I see is people thinking they need to feel their heart pounding and their joints aching for exercise to be effective. Japanese exercise philosophy teaches the opposite. The best exercise is the kind you can do consistently for decades without injury. High-impact cardio might make you feel accomplished in the moment, but it's borrowing against your future mobility. Japanese seniors achieve remarkable cardiovascular fitness through what they call nagare undao, or flow exercise. These are sustained, rhythmic movements that elevate heart rate gradually and maintain it through continuous motion rather than jarring impacts. Water walking, gentle cycling, and extended Tai Chi forms can provide the same cardiovascular benefits as running, but with virtually zero joint stress. Recent biomechanical studies from Osaka University measured the ground reaction forces during different types of exercise. Running on pavement generated impact forces of up to 4 times body weight. Stair climbing reached 3 times body weight, but flowing movements like Tai Chi and Qigong registered less than 1.5 times body weight, while still providing significant cardiovascular challenge. What's fascinating is how this approach actually improves long-term fitness outcomes. When your joints aren't constantly recovering from impact damage, you can exercise more frequently and consistently. Japanese seniors who practice low-impact exercise report exercising an average of 6 days per week compared to 3 days per week for their high-impact counterparts, who need more recovery time between sessions. The Japanese concept of Chikyu ni Yasashi Undao translates to earth-gentle exercise, movement that works with gravity and natural forces rather than fighting against them. This philosophy extends beyond just avoiding pavement pounding. It includes understanding that your aging joints require the same consideration you'd give to a valuable antique. Handle with care, use frequently but gently, and avoid unnecessary stress. By eliminating high-impact cardio, Japanese elders preserve their joint health while still achieving excellent cardiovascular fitness and endurance. But protecting your joints is only part of the equation. There's another category of exercise that seems beneficial, but actually increases fall risk in seniors. You've seen them in every modern gym. Seniors wobbling on balance balls, stepping onto unstable foam pads, trying to perform exercises on surfaces designed to challenge their equilibrium. Personal trainers call it functional training. Physical therapists recommend it for fall prevention. But here's what they don't tell you. Japanese elders, who have the lowest fall rates in the developed world, never train on unstable surfaces after 60. They have a principle called anti, which means stability first. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had to perform a daily task while standing on a wobbling, unpredictable surface? Getting dressed, cooking, climbing stairs, gardening, these activities happen on solid, stable ground. So why would you train your balance system on surfaces that don't exist in your real life? Here's what Japanese balance researchers discovered when they studied fall prevention methods. Seniors who practiced unstable surface training actually had a 23% higher fall rate than those who trained on solid ground. The reason is counterintuitive, but makes perfect sense once you understand it. Your balance system after 60 operates differently than it did in your younger years. You rely more heavily on visual cues and less on the feedback from your feet and ankles. When you train on unstable surfaces, you're essentially teaching your nervous system to expect unpredictability. But real-world balance challenges like stepping off a curb or navigating uneven sidewalks require quick, confident responses based on solid ground feedback. Traditional Japanese martial arts understood this principle centuries ago. Aikido, practiced by masters well into their 80s, always emphasizes solid, grounded stances. The concept of kamae, or proper stance, requires practitioners to develop internal stability through controlled, predictable positioning. You never see elderly Aikido masters training on balance balls because they understand that true balance comes from within, not from adapting to external instability. Think about it this way. If you wanted to become a better driver, would you practice on roads that randomly shifted and moved, or would you master your skills on stable pavement first? Japanese balance training follows the same logic. Build confidence and strength on solid ground, then gradually introduce controlled challenges that mirror real-world situations. The most dangerous aspect of unstable surface training is how it actually decreases confidence. When seniors practice on wobbly surfaces, they develop a subconscious expectation that the ground might not be trustworthy. This creates hesitation in their movement patterns, and hesitation is one of the primary causes of falls in older adults. Japanese seniors instead practice Jishinkokyu, or confident breathing balance. These are exercises performed on solid surfaces that challenge balance through controlled weight shifts, single leg stands with support, and slow, deliberate movements that build both strength and confidence simultaneously. The key is graduating the difficulty in a way that always maintains success and builds trust in your balance system. Recent studies from Tokyo's National Institute of Health compared balance training methods across different cultures. Japanese seniors who practiced stable surface balance training showed improved reaction times, better postural control, and significantly more confidence in their daily movements. The unstable surface group showed marginal physical improvements, but reported increased anxiety about falling. What makes this particularly important is understanding that balance after 60 is as much psychological as physical. If your training creates doubt about your stability, you'll unconsciously move more cautiously, which actually increases fall risk. Japanese balance philosophy focuses on building unshakable confidence through mastery of stable, controlled movements. The Japanese approach to balance training emphasizes internal stability and confidence over external challenge and adaptation. By avoiding unstable surface training, Japanese elders develop the kind of grounded, confident movement that prevents falls in real-world situations. But balance isn't the only area where Japanese seniors take a completely different approach to strength development. Walk through the weight room of any American gym, and you'll see seniors gritting their teeth, straining under heavy barbells, pushing their bodies to muscular failure. Their trainers cheer them on, shouting one more rep as veins bulge and faces turn red. Now visit a Japanese senior fitness center, and you'll notice something remarkable. No one is lifting heavy weights. Instead, you'll see older adults moving with controlled precision, using their own body weight and gentle resistance. Japanese elders have a principle called yawaraka chikara, which translates to gentle strength. Here's what your personal trainer probably never explained. After 60, your tendons and ligaments lose elasticity at a rate of about 1% per year. Think of them like rubber bands that have been sitting in a drawer for decades. They look the same, but they're more likely to snap under sudden tension. When you load these aging connective tissues with heavy weights, you're playing a dangerous game of structural roulette. Japanese strength researchers followed 3,000 seniors for 8 years, comparing those who lifted heavy weights with those who practiced progressive bodyweight training. The heavy lifting group had a 47% higher rate of tendon injuries, joint inflammation, and what Japanese doctors call renketsu soshiki hasan, connective tissue breakdown. The bodyweight group maintained strength gains while avoiding these complications entirely. But here's where it gets fascinating. The Japanese approach to strength after 60 isn't about lifting less weight. It's about understanding that maximum strength and functional strength are completely different things. When did you last need to bench press your body weight in real life? But when did you last need to get up from a chair, carry groceries, or maintain your balance while reaching for something? Japanese strength training focuses on the movements that actually matter for independent living. Traditional Japanese martial arts developed this philosophy over centuries. Aikido masters in their 70s can effortlessly redirect the force of much younger, stronger opponents, not through brute strength, but through efficiency and technique. They understand that true power comes from the integration of multiple muscle groups working in coordination, not from the maximum output of individual muscles working in isolation. The most dangerous mistake I see in Western strength training is the obsession with progressive overload, the idea that you must constantly add more weight to see results. But after 60, your body's recovery capacity decreases significantly. What once took 24 hours to recover from now takes 48 to 72 hours. Heavy lifting creates micro damage that your aging tissues simply can't repair as efficiently as they once could. Japanese seniors instead practice Jizoku Ryoku, or enduring strength. These are exercises that can be performed frequently without excessive tissue damage, isometric holds, controlled bodyweight movements, and resistance exercises using bands or light weights that focus on time under tension rather than maximum load. The goal is strength you can use every day, not strength you can demonstrate once. Think of it this way. Would you rather be able to lift 200 pounds once, then need 3 days to recover, or lift 50 pounds 20 times and feel energized afterward? Japanese strength philosophy recognizes that consistency trumps intensity, especially as we age. Small, sustainable efforts compound over time into remarkable strength gains without the injury risk. Recent biomechanical studies from Kyoto University measured muscle activation patterns in seniors performing heavy lifting versus controlled bodyweight exercises. Surprisingly, the bodyweight exercises activated more overall muscle fibers and required greater coordination between muscle groups. Heavy lifting activated fewer muscles more intensely, but at the cost of joint stress and injury risk. By avoiding heavy weightlifting, Japanese elders build functional strength that enhances daily life without compromising joint health or requiring excessive recovery time. But strength training is just one area where Japanese seniors completely reverse conventional wisdom about what the aging body needs. You've probably seen them in yoga studios across America, seniors pushing themselves into extreme poses, grimacing as they force their bodies into positions that would challenge a gymnast. Their instructors encourage them to breathe through the discomfort and find their edge. Meanwhile, in traditional Japanese movement centers, you'll see something completely different. Elderly practitioners moving within comfortable ranges, never forcing, never straining. Japanese elders follow a principle called Shizen Nahani, which means natural range. Here's what most people don't understand about flexibility after 60. Your joints are held together by ligaments that act like the guy wires on a tent. When you're young, these ligaments are strong and elastic, bouncing back from stretching like new rubber bands. But as you age, they become more like old fabric, less elastic, more fragile, and prone to permanent stretching if you push too hard. Japanese flexibility researchers made a startling discovery when they studied seniors who practiced aggressive stretching versus those who worked within natural limits. The aggressive stretching group showed a 38% higher rate of joint instability, chronic pain, and what Japanese orthopedic specialists call Kansetsu Yurumi loose joint syndrome. The natural range group maintained better joint stability while still improving their functional mobility. Think about this. When your ligaments get overstretched, they don't snap back like a rubber band. They stay loose, like a stretched-out sweater. This might seem like improved flexibility, but it's actually joint destabilization. Your ligaments are supposed to provide stability and support. When they're overstretched, your muscles have to work overtime to keep your joints in proper alignment, leading to chronic tension and pain. Traditional Japanese movement arts never emphasized extreme flexibility. In Aikido, practitioners develop remarkable mobility through gentle, repetitive movements that honor the natural limits of their joints. The concept of nagare, or flow, emphasizes smooth transitions within comfortable ranges rather than forcing the body into extreme positions. Here's what's particularly dangerous about extreme stretching after 60. Your proprioception, the ability to sense where your joints are in space, decreases with age. This means you're less likely to feel when you're pushing a joint beyond its safe range until damage has already occurred. Younger people can sense and respond to dangerous stretch levels, but seniors often can't feel the warning signals until it's too late. The most common mistake I see is people confusing flexibility with mobility. Flexibility is passive range of motion, how far someone else can move your joint. Mobility is active range of motion, how far you can move your joint under your own control. Japanese seniors focus on mobility because that's what you actually use in daily life. You don't need someone else to move your joints for you. You need to move them yourself with strength and control. Japanese flexibility training emphasizes what they call kinoke undo, or functional mobility work. These are gentle movements that improve range of motion within the context of daily activities. Reaching overhead to put dishes away, bending to tie shoes, rotating to look over your shoulder while driving. The goal is to maintain the mobility you need for independent living, not to achieve impressive but impractical ranges of motion. Recent studies from Tohoku University compared two groups of seniors over 12 months, one practicing extreme stretching routines, the other working within natural ranges with gentle, sustained movements. The extreme stretching group showed greater passive flexibility, but reported more joint pain and stiffness during daily activities. The natural range group maintained excellent functional mobility, with significantly less discomfort. What makes the Japanese approach particularly wise is understanding that flexibility after 60 should serve function, not appearance. Can you reach all the shelves in your kitchen? Can you turn to check your blind spot while driving? Can you put on your shoes without struggling? These are the flexibility goals that actually matter for quality of life. By avoiding extreme stretching and working within natural ranges, Japanese elders maintain stable, pain-free joints while preserving all the mobility they need for independent living. But joint stability is just one piece of a larger philosophy about how to exercise as we age. Picture this scene that plays out in gyms across America every single day. A 70-year-old man grimacing through another set of squats, his knees creaking audibly, sweat pouring down his face as he pushes through obvious discomfort. His trainer shouts encouragement, "Push through the burn! No pain, no gain." Meanwhile, in traditional Japanese exercise centers, you'll witness something radically different. The moment an elder feels discomfort, they immediately stop, breathe, and listen. Japanese seniors follow an ancient principle called karada no ko, which literally means listening to the body's voice. Here's what Western fitness culture gets dangerously wrong. We've been conditioned to believe that pain during exercise is normal, even necessary. But Japanese exercise physiologists have discovered that training through pain after 60 doesn't build character or strength. It builds chronic inflammation and accelerates the aging process. Pain isn't weakness leaving the body. It's your body's sophisticated warning system telling you that damage is occurring right now. Think about the last time you ignored pain during exercise. Maybe your knee ached during a workout, but you pushed through because you didn't want to seem weak. Or your back twinged during a lift, but you completed the set anyway. Japanese research shows that every time you train through pain after 60, you create microscopic tissue damage that your aging body struggles to repair, leading to chronic inflammation that affects not just your muscles and joints, but your entire system. Japanese longevity researchers followed two groups of seniors for 5 years. One group that exercised through discomfort and pain, and another that immediately stopped activity at the first sign of discomfort. The results were startling. The push-through pain group had 62% more chronic inflammatory markers in their blood, 43% more joint degeneration, and reported significantly lower quality of life scores. The listen to your body group maintained better joint health, had lower inflammation levels, and actually achieved better fitness outcomes. Here's what's fascinating. Traditional Japanese martial arts have always distinguished between two types of sensation during training. Shinpo itami means progress discomfort, the mild sensation of muscles working and stretching within safe limits. Kiken itami means danger pain, sharp, shooting, or throbbing sensations that signal potential injury. Japanese masters teach students from day one to recognize this difference and never, ever push through danger pain. But there's something even more important happening when you train through pain. You're teaching your nervous system to ignore vital safety signals. Your body's pain receptors become less sensitive over time, meaning you lose the ability to detect when you're approaching injury. It's like removing the smoke detectors from your house. You might feel tougher, but you're actually in much greater danger. The most dangerous aspect of training through pain is how it creates what Japanese sports medicine doctors call mansei ensho jotai, chronic inflammatory state. When you repeatedly damage tissues faster than they can heal, your immune system stays constantly activated, fighting a battle it can never win. This chronic inflammation doesn't just affect your muscles and joints, it accelerates aging throughout your entire body. Japanese seniors instead practice Anzin Kyokai Kunrin, or safe boundary training. This means exercising right up to the edge of mild discomfort, then backing off slightly. You're still challenging your body and creating positive adaptations, but within the safe limits of your current capacity. The key insight is that your safe boundaries will naturally expand over time if you respect them consistently. Think about how this applies to your daily life. When you respect your body's pain signals during exercise, you maintain the sensitivity to detect problems early in other areas too. You'll notice when you're sitting in a way that might cause back problems, or when you're lifting something that might strain your shoulder, This body awareness becomes a protective factor that prevents injuries before they happen. Recent neuroscience research from Kyoto University shows that seniors who practice pain-aware exercise develop better proprioception, faster reflexes, and more accurate body awareness than those who habitually ignore discomfort. Their brains maintain stronger connections to their bodies, which translates into better balance, coordination, and injury prevention in daily activities. By never training through pain, Japanese elders maintain their body's natural protective mechanisms while still achieving excellent fitness results through consistent, mindful practice. This philosophy of listening to your body's wisdom represents the foundation of all Japanese exercise principles we've discussed. Remember that picture I painted at the beginning? A 75-year-old living independently, walking without assistance, choosing from a packed social calendar rather than managing a packed pill organizer? Now you understand the secret. It's not about doing more exercise as you age, it's about doing the right exercise. The 6 categories we've covered: traditional sit-ups, high-impact cardio, unstable surface training, heavy weightlifting, extreme stretching, and training through pain represent a complete philosophy shift from fighting your aging body to partnering with it. Here's what makes the Japanese approach so revolutionary. They've identified that the biggest threat to healthy aging isn't inactivity, it's inappropriate activity. While American seniors are getting injured trying to exercise like 20-year-olds, Japanese elders are thriving by exercising like the wise, experienced bodies they've become. They understand that your 60-year-old body isn't a broken version of your 30-year-old body. It's an evolved version with different needs, different capabilities, and different wisdom. Think about what we've discovered together. Japanese elders avoid spinal compression exercises not because they're weak, but because they understand that protecting your spine is more important than strengthening your abs. They skip high-impact cardio not because they're lazy, but because they know that preserving cartilage today means walking independently tomorrow. They don't train on unstable surfaces because they've learned that confidence comes from mastering solid ground first. Each principle builds on a fundamental Japanese concept, choki shitten, or long-term perspective. Every exercise decision is evaluated not just for how it makes you feel today, but for how it will affect your body in 5, 10, or 20 years. This is why Japanese seniors can maintain active, independent lifestyles well into their 80s and 90s, while many of their Western counterparts are dealing with the consequences of well-intentioned but destructive exercise choices. The most powerful insight from Japanese exercise philosophy is that aging isn't about decline, it's about adaptation. Your body after 60 isn't weaker, it's more selective. It can't recover from damage as quickly, so it's crucial to avoid creating unnecessary damage in the first place. It can't handle extreme stress as easily, so the focus shifts to sustainable, consistent effort rather than maximum intensity. What we're really talking about here is a choice. You can follow the Western approach, push harder, lift heavier, stretch further, ignore pain, and hope your body can keep up. Or you can follow the Japanese path. Listen carefully, move wisely, build gradually, and trust that your body knows what it needs. The statistics speak for themselves. Japan has 59,000 active 90-year-olds. America has 12,000. This isn't just about exercise, it's about how you approach aging itself. Do you see your older self as someone who needs to fight against the natural changes in your body? Or as someone who can work intelligently with those changes to maintain health and vitality? The Japanese have chosen partnership over warfare, and the results are undeniable. Starting today, you can begin applying these principles. Pay attention to what your body is telling you during exercise. Choose movements that you can perform consistently rather than those that leave you needing days to recover. Focus on building the kind of strength, balance, and flexibility that actually improve your daily life, not just your gym performance. The difference between aging with strength and independence versus declining into frailty often comes down to the small daily choices we make about how we move our bodies. Japanese elders have shown us that these choices don't have to be complicated or extreme, they just need to be wise. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 exercise categories surprised you the most? Which one do you think will be hardest to avoid, and why? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll respond with specific strategies to help you make the transition to Japanese-style exercise wisdom. If this changed how you think about exercise after 60, subscribe for more insights into how different cultures approach healthy aging. Your future self will thank you for the choices you make today.